Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's Connor O'Toole. I go by Connor on Chain, and today I'm gonna be talking launchpads, crypto launchpads. Dude, launchpads I think are fucking dope. I think they open up a lot of opportunity for more advanced investors to make crazy returns or potentially make crazy returns if you get in early and you got the funds to do so. So I'm gonna dive right in and let's just talk all launchpads. Let's go. So, bro, we're gonna go right over to cryptorank.io. This is a great website as far as finding launchpads and seeing which launchpads have actually done insane returns over time. Just by looking here, like these are already just by looking at this list, some of the top performing launchpads over the last bull run. You know, so when it comes to these ROIs, this is the average all-time high ROI of most of the projects on their platform. If you combine everything together, this was their average ROI in a lot of these different projects. So Downmaker itself is one of the best, one of the greatest. They launched a ton of popular projects. Actually, let's just see too. I'm not too sure which ones. There were like 3 or 4 really solid ones that I saw. I'm pretty sure. I think it was, what was it? My Neighbor Alice was one of them too. Might be a different one. Yeah, Step App was massive. I remember that. But anyways, solid launch pad. Like 100 over 120 different IDOs, which is crazy. Cify, in my opinion, is another one. But if you don't have a lot of funds to actually hold and stake and put into Cify, it's not going to be worth your time, especially in this coming bull run. But there's a lot of ups and downs to many of these launch pads that I feel like a lot of people don't know because they don't know. Like if you're new to crypto, there's a lot that you just don't understand or you don't know yet, and that's totally okay. But with these launch pads, like there's a whole requirement process for each and every platform. And some of these platforms are a little bit different than others, in which like how you have to stake, how you have to allocate, and how you get allocations. So I'm not gonna do a super deep dive today, but there are a couple platforms, my top two right now, that I personally want to get into. So mainly I want to talk about a little bit about Cify first, and then I want to jump into GameFi as well as Game Zone. And when I'm talking about Game Zone later, that's going to include Bluezilla. Any sort of Bluezilla launchpads were absolutely ridiculous last bull run. But anyways, let's start with Cify. So Cify is like I've said, it's a insane launchpad. They've launched so many solid projects over time. And with Cify too, I remember in the bull run how hyped this was. Mainly because I think there were a couple projects that launched. Let's go to the times. This is, yeah, December, okay, 2021. So they launched Citus, I'm pretty sure. Like that was a massive one too. Let's just see like the all-time high ROIs on some of these projects. Like 109x. If you got in at the bottom, it did an 109x. Spin Top 64x. Let's keep it going. Yeah, Good Games Guild. That was a big one for a while too. I remember that. Blocktopia. Like, dude, that's disgusting. A 700x pretty much. That's ridiculous. I actually don't even know if this one is Cryptomata. That's massive too. So you can just see like Cryo War, Age of Tanks. Like these are all pretty big names for a little while. Just as the bull run was at its peak or just pushing towards it. But Cify was easily one of the most hyped up launch pads, mainly too because Alex Becker was a huge advocate pushing Cify. And I have a feeling that he's going to do it again, whether it is going to be with Cify or another altcoin as well, or another launch pad rather. But let's go to the socials. Cify, so the way that Cify works, which I personally I think I'm going to stay away from, and this is going to be why. So when it comes to staking on Cify, you're going to need to have to allocate a certain amount of tokens to be able to get a guaranteed mint or a guaranteed allocation. So I just want to see what the guide is because I don't remember the oh, right here. So their tier system. So every launchpad has a tier system that you're going to have to look out for. And so what most of these launchpads will do is if you have very low tiers, like from the bottom or even a couple tiers below, most of them you're not going to get a guaranteed allocation. So if you have tokens, and let's say a hype project is coming up, and you allocate your tokens to it, but like let's say for example here you only have, let's say you have 200 S Fund tokens or 200 Cify tokens. When you stake those tokens on the exchange or on the launchpad itself, you get put into almost like a lottery of the amount of people that are staking between you and whatever, say a couple thousand people. It's going to be between you and the ones that are in and around your stake level, and it's not going to be a guaranteed mint unless the allocation amount that you have has been it's been said. And I'm trying to see here because I know some of these tiers are like that, where it's going to be almost like a lottery where maybe every couple people, one person's going to actually get chosen to have the right to get into that token that you're watching. So if you stake, there's a good chance that you won't even get a portion of that allocation, even though you staked and you put your money up. And so what S Fund does is, depending on how much you have in, and your tier, you only get allocated a small amount of money per tier. So a big problem that I saw in the last bull run was people were spending tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars for these tiers, but because there's so many people allocating to it on Cify, the allocations were still so tiny. Like if you only had $1,000 to even a couple $1,000s in Cify, bro, if you got allocated to a project, you were only going to get maybe from anywhere between $5 to $20 of whatever that token is worth at the bottom of whatever project that you're staking to get into. So it's like the lower amount of money that you actually stake to put in, the lower amount of allocation that you actually get into the projects. And a lot of times, for most people, it wasn't worth it. People are spending $5, $10, $20,000 on Cify tokens just to be able to have the right to get, let's say, like even $50 worth of a token at the literal bottom. Like a lot of people don't realize that, and this is a main reason why I'm staying away from Cify, because with my own capital now, I'm not gonna risk a ton, even if I'm buying Cify at the bottom. Unless I have literally like 500-600 grand that I'm willing to shill out right now, or maybe not that much. Like I might be over exaggerating it, but you need a lot of capital to be able to allocate just into their token to then stake, to be able to get big amounts of allocations in each project that they launch. So it's very risky to that point if you're not going to buy it for that specific reason. Like if you just want to buy the tokens to buy it, I still see a lot of bullishness with it, in the sense that you could buy at the bottom of any of these launch pads, even just buy a few $100s. You can stake it right now. You can start earning some tokens on your tokens. But bro, if you just hold these launchpad tokens, whatever decent launchpad it is, if these launchpads actually start to get very hype projects, people are going to start FOMOing in during the bull market because they want to have a chance to allocate to these projects. And this is where if you understand this and potentially, I don't know, you're not going to know what projects are going to launch a year and a half out from now, but like if you can get into a good launch pad at a low price and that they're going to be dropping a ton of gem projects that are eventually going to launch, that's a good way to actually get very good gains on your returns. Like you don't even have to use the launch pad. If you just hold the tokens because you bought in very early, and then you see in 2024, there's 2 or 3 in a row, like super hype projects, and you just see half of your Twitter feed FOMOing in because they want to get into this project. that's gonna pump the token to insane levels, and that's kind of what happened with Cify itself too. That's part of the reason why the token went so high when it did. But anyways, that is Cify. So Cify, personally, I'm kind of staying away from. So let's talk into like the Bluezilla projects. So Bluezilla itself was its own. They're like a venture capitalist group, and they aim to do everything from incubation to launch and marketing for a ton of different projects. And they have a lot of different launchpads that are, around and you can actually buy and invest in. That includes like BSC pad. They got Tron pad, ETH pad. GameFi right here is another one. Or I'm sorry, this is Game Zone. Yes, Game Zone is another one. GameFi is separate, but still another bullish one. But this is Game Zone. So a bunch of these are actually like they work hand in hand with Bluezilla at launch. And Bluezilla itself had very similar gains to like DAOmaker, to a bunch of these other ones. Let's see. I wonder if Bluezilla is actually here. Because Bluezilla itself, they don't have a token or anything like that. But I'm just curious to see if they would show up here just with like the returns on certain projects. I guess not. But anyways, Game Zone right here. I just like this is going to be probably the one that I get into. Mainly because with Game Zone, like I'm going to show you guys like the allocation as well. Like I've done about a couple days worth of research to just figure out which one, if I'm going to actually get into, would I have the most bang for my buck in this market. And let's see if I can find it, because it's probably going to take me fucking 10 minutes. Oh, this is the app. Let me go to gamezone.io. But the only thing that I want to bring up now, and the reason why I haven't bought in yet 100%, is because, bro, on all the Bluezilla launchpads, like I said, ETH pad, BSC pad, Tron pad, KCC pad, which is like for Qcoin, Game Zone, they're not active on Twitter by any means. Like the team has not posted much. Some of them may have posted. I've only checked a couple accounts, but they're not very active on social media, which to me is a huge red flag that I'd really question. I mean, it doesn't mean they're not doing anything, like these companies, like these projects are still building here and there. But anyways, with Game Zone here, the allocation. So this is what I was talking about before, how lottery is up to 6 tickets here. So depending on how many Game Zone tokens you have, so you're only going to get a small portion of, potential allocation. And it's a lottery system, basically. Like you stake your money and there's only a chance that you get picked to actually get into the project, But with Game Zone, to get a guaranteed allocation is around 20,000 Game Zone tokens, which right now they're around a penny or maybe 2 cents right now. But, during the bull market, bro, they were around like 80, 90 to even $1, I think, at some point. So like imagine like trying to buy that. Like you would have had to spend almost $20,000, just to get a guaranteed allocation. And that's why Launchpads were very hyped back then, because they're very expensive. Like, everyone wanted to allocate and get in. That's why it pumped so hard, because a lot of people were spending a ton of money just to get into these guaranteed allocations, But anyways, Game Zone I feel like is going to do well, because GameFi itself, and I'm not talking about the other platform called GameFi that I'm going to show you in a second, but the GameFi narrative itself is going to be massive this bull run. Most of the most popular influencers on social media and YouTube and Twitter, all of them are bullish on the future of Web3 gaming. Everyone in crypto is bullish on Web3 gaming, and that including myself, even though that's not like my forte, but I'm very bullish on it, and I'd like to see that, rip to new levels. And this is just a little bit of alpha for you guys. If you're new to crypto, I don't recommend 100% doing this. I would mess around with it if you really like the projects. You want to just start messing with it. Learn about it first. Watch videos on it. Do what you got to do to just wrap your head around how this stuff works. Because the first time that I tried using these launch pads, bro, like I sent my money. I sent my literal BNB to like a dead address. It wasn't even part of it because I staked it wrong, and then I didn't even have the allocation portion, or I didn't even get picked to allocate. But yet I was trying to send money in, as in like, oh, I was picked. You know, I lost like $300-400 trying to send money to it, like, you know, like type thing. Like, please do your research with these. It's not. This is not a simple thing where you buy the coin, and then you can just buy into whatever new projects. Like, there's a lot to it. But anyways, yeah, these are a couple, and like I said, I'm gonna talk about GameFi here. Oh, you know, and I have this up too, which is good. So GameFi here right now, let me pull up CoinGecko again, because I don't remember what I think the tokens are on $1 or $2 right now. Ticker's Gaffy. This is another one. This is like another Launchpad that still did fairly well. Yeah, so it's around $1.50 right now. You can see the token ran all the way to $300, and again, mainly because a couple massively hyped projects were launching here, and the amount of people that wanted to get in pumped the shit out of this price, dude. This was just, I don't know if it was luck or what, but you had two games that absolutely sent the price on all these launch pads that offered allocation into the pre-sale of these projects. You know, but GameFi itself, this is good too. Like, this is a close second for me. But the only reason why I don't like this is because you need to be legend or a legend tier to get guaranteed allocation. So for every single person, like, you know, no matter how much money you have in, you know, it looks like it's just going to be lottery system, bro. But like, if I'm going to buy into a token, as in, if I'm going to buy into GameFi token right now, and I want to start getting allocated into every coin, it simply just won't happen. It's because it's a lottery-based system, it simply won't happen. And that, it really throws me off, because I would be buying GameFi over GameZone right now if they had guaranteed allocation. You know, and please, if I'm wrong, like, comment below, let me know, like, hey, like, you don't know what you're talking about, bro, like, fucking, like, look into it more. It says right here, clear as day, like, this and that. You know, let me know below. But anyways, these platforms too, I think they're dope, bro. I love the idea of Launchpads. And I think if you're smart with it, you know what you're doing, there is a huge incentive to make disgusting gains. This is where a lot of people made insane money in the bull run, if you got into some of these projects early. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. I got just a couple of those launch pads, bro. Do your own research, and a couple more you can look into too, which are classic ones. So GameFi itself is its own entity here, but then you got GameZone, you got BSC Pad, which this is like one of the first launch pads on Binance Smart Chain. You can see partnered with Bluezilla. Then you got ETH Pad, KCC Pad, Tron Pad, and I just saw Trust Pad there too. I'm not too sure, but Bluezilla. Yeah, I'm just gonna show you guys before I head out of here. First skirt out. But yeah, Bluezilla.vc is the website. Yeah, like I said, they incubate. They kind of create all these projects from scratch. They help you guys launch it. All of these, AdaPad too, GameZone, MetaPad, or MetaVPad, bunch of different ones. But yeah, check it out. I think these are a huge opportunity in crypto, and if you guys are getting into it, let me know. I want to know. I'd love to see you guys participating. And like I said before, I think, in my personal opinion, GameZone, to get guaranteed allocation right now at the current price, I think is around $400. So I'm really looking into that just to get like a simple, you know, I'm not going to spend crazy amounts into it right now, because it's all risk, bro. Crypto is a very risky game depending on who and what you're investing in. But I think the upside in the future in these launch pads is crazy good. So do your own research, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate it.